And here's me speaking passionately to no one for 45 minutes. I didn't realize until after I was done filming that my mic was off. So let's try this again, shall we?
The intro to this video is very fitting for what I'm about to talk about because I just filmed this entire thing and my mic was off. So there was no audio. So we're gonna film it again. This time is gonna be even better. So hi guys, we're back. I am not gonna let this get me down, even though I'm a little frustrated. Today, we are talking about your identity and why this naturally creates in your reality. This is the driving factor behind the speed in which you receive your manifestations. Not that time needs to be your main focus, but the reason you don't have your manifestation isn't because you're not scripting enough. It's not because you're not journaling enough. It's not because you're not visualizing enough. It's because you're in the identity of not having it and you're still looking for proof outside of you. I'm going to break down how this unfolds naturally in your life, why identity is so important, and how to adjust the micro decisions that you're making. It's not really your techniques at all that create for you. The techniques are there to help remind you of what you already have. You either have it or you don't have it. What do I mean by this? I don't mean you physically have it. I mean you energetically already feel confident enough to call it into your life without the need for proof. Your manifestation is not about doing more. It's about becoming the version of you that already has it. And I know this sounds quite vague, so let's break it down. You don't manifest what you want. The reason that manifestation is a natural byproduct is because of the energy or the identity you're most dominantly in. So for example, if you're trying to bring in something that you're not really that attached to, you don't really care about it that much, you'll see that it's a lot easier to bring that into your reality. Why? Because you're just naturally assuming that it's going to come to you without the need for proof. If deep down you still see yourself as someone who is broke, as someone who is unworthy, who gets ghosted, who people don't commit to, your external reality will mirror that back to you every single time. It's like walking around, if you really think about it, when you're trying to bring in something new. It's like walking around in a costume of the old you while begging the universe to treat you like the upgraded version. Naturally, it won't, because the universe responds to frequency, it responds to alignment. It responds to the identity and the belief system that you are most dominantly in. So your subconscious runs 95% of your life, which is why subliminals and sleep affirmations are amazing. Do I think that the subconscious mind is necessary to rewire to manifest? No, but I do think if you want to cut out a lot of unnecessary, this part and actually addressing the patterns in your life is going to make this process a lot easier for you. Let's say you want to manifest money. You've got affirmations like, I'm abundant, I am stable, I get paid to exist, money loves me. What else? Money flows to me with ease, but every time you go to buy coffee, your chest tightens, or you feel like you're obsessively checking your bank account. You say, I'm abundant, but you don't feel safe with money. That feeling, that identity is what is naturally creating more lack in your 3D reality. And I say this with all the love because I have been here plenty of times, but it's because I was identified as the woman that wasn't abundant. I felt like I had to really work hard in order to earn money. And until I made the conscious decision to become this upgraded, elevated version of myself who was already living their dream life, a woman who was already confident, already stable, already secure, already abundant, and was already supported by the universe no matter what. That's when everything shifted for me. And I want to talk about two very real and very important life examples. And these two examples are the top two reasons anybody gets in the manifestation. I don't care what anybody says. And that is money and love. So let's start with love. You're wanting to manifest a healthy relationship, but you still identify as the girl that gets anxious if he doesn't text back. You start spiraling. You start wondering if you're enough. But the woman who knows she's chosen, who knows her worth, who decides that she is love and that she is the best option, she doesn't chase. She doesn't over-explain. She feels safe because she's already in the identity of I am the one. I'm always loved deeply. Now for the men. Let's say you want to pursue a woman, but you are anxious about if she'll say yes or no. If you're intimidated by other men, how are you going to be showing up? You're probably going to be playing games unconsciously. You're probably not going to take the proper action to court her. And it's going to create a level of dissonance in your reality. Now, as a man who knows who they are, who is confident in themselves, how would they be approaching love? They wouldn't take rejection as a blow to the ego. They would be moving about their reality, knowing what they get out of life, and not being scared to pursue somebody. Totally different versions of people. Now let's go to money. You're manifesting wealth, but you identify as the person that has to sacrifice in order to earn. So you undercharge, you don't allow yourself to take the right actions to create more wealth in your life, and you talk yourself out of opportunities. But becoming the person that sees themselves as valuable and who does naturally generate wealth in their life shows up with the energy naturally that says, of course my wealth increases every day. Of course money loves me. Of course, money flows to me with ease because it's who they're naturally being. Do you see the shift with how this is naturally creating in your life? I'm going to use myself as an example and how this was naturally creating in my life without me even realizing it. You want to go viral, or you want to be seen as someone that is a leader in your field, but you are feeling like an imposter. You're too scared to be seen. You're too scared to post. You think that there's already enough people in this field, so you don't really need to, your voice doesn't really need to be heard. You doubt your gifts. That was the old me. So that was who I used to be. But now I trust myself. I trust the content that I'm putting out. I know that I'm needed in this space, and I know that the right people are watching my content. And I am confident in how I am portraying my messages. Do you see the contrast in identity? It's a totally different way of being and moving about your reality. So how do we shift in our identity? Let's break this down step by step. Step number one, I want you to get very honest with yourself. This is something that I did. These are actually steps that I took because I knew that my desired reality wasn't going to come from this old, watered down version of myself. I want you to ask, who are you being every day? And before you do little things, I want you to ask yourself, would the version of me that was confident, that was stable, that was secure be doing this, or would they not? Ask yourself what stories you keep repeating to yourself about love, money, career. And this is a part to be honest, not to judge yourself, to see how you can easily shift and how you're showing up in your day-to-day world. Number two, this is the fun part, and this is my favorite step, in my honest opinion. I want you to get a piece of paper, or even in your notes app, in your phone, and I want you to write down an alter ego name. Write down qualities. I want you to write down how they would be waking up in the morning, going to bed at night, how they would be in their friendships and their relationships. And I want you, after you write this alter ego version of you down, to actually step into this identity. And I want you to ask and actually go into detail about how you would be behaving throughout the day. Would you be more outspoken? Would you be prioritizing your mental health? Would you be prioritizing nervous system regulation? Ask yourself, who is the version of me that already has the life that I want? This version of you, by the way, already exists. They're just waiting for you to remember and actually step into this version of yourself. Ask, what do they believe? What are they dominantly assuming? What is the content they're consuming? Are they creating content or are they consuming content? How do they show up in conversations? How do they dress? How do they present themselves? How do they spend their time? This is my favorite part because you really get to almost create a new character, and you'll actually have, it's almost like playing a video game in real life. You're just selecting this new version of you. Just get a list, whatever you need, pen and paper. But some traits of my highest self, this is just an example. Emotionally sovereign, elegantly unattached. I'm deliberate with my energy. I don't chase opportunities. I'm attracted to consistency, not chaos. I never rush. I create and I live with intention. And I begin my day with silence, breath work, meditation before letting the world in. I never chase, I embody. And I think this is the biggest key takeaway, is knowing who you are and actually knowing the power you have. Making these adjustments doesn't take long. Literally, I think the second I made this list, I started shifting. That second, whenever I was writing this stuff down, I was like, wait, I can easily just step into this timeline now. And number 3, which is the most important step, I want you to actually embody that version of you daily. So that's why making the little notes and bullet points is so important, because if you're feeling yourself starting to wobble, starting to doubt, starting to fear, you'll be able to actually look at what you wrote down and shift yourself. And this is where repetition comes in. Affirmations, yes, but also movement, music, how you speak to yourself, how you handle setbacks. Every time you react as that old version of you, you anchor that old version of you in your reality, and you're not allowing yourself to grow and evolve. It's not about faking it. It's about activating this new version of you. Actually embody this version of you fiercely, unapologetically, and confidently. And you'll start to see that over time, it genuinely does become natural. Your manifestation is already here. It's already available to you. But the you who receives your manifestation, your actual full-blown manifestation, is totally different than the version of you that's still doubting, still wondering, that's still asking questions. When you shift in who you're being, the entire world rearranges for you. And it's not about doing more, although I love techniques. It's about becoming a higher, elevated version of yourself.